In this video, we will examine in the Spencer Tarot the major Arcana cards 16 through 21. Number 16, the Tower. This card is also a card that tends to scare people because usually, traditionally on this card we see an inferno of a tower burning. And it can represent chaos. And the tower is about, sometimes we have to go through chaos before we can restore, heal, and renovate. So when someone pulls the Tower card, one possesses strong healing gifts and the ability to heal and reframe mental on a very deep level. This card is about breaking through restrictions that hold you back, breaking through false beliefs, and the ability to see your own inner truth and inner beauty. The Tower is about developing your psychic gifts, being the seer, being the intuitive, and learning to be patient and gentle with oneself when you are going through hard times. The Tower could be focusing on health and diet, releasing the need for pharmaceuticals or vices, and using your gift, or basically your third eye, to make powerful decisions on your life that can transform you. Very fascinating. A new friend that started out as a student came into my life. And this person is a 21-year-old gentleman, very handsome, incredibly talented, but had challenges in his life. His card of birth is the Tower, and I find it just fascinating how through very, very challenging struggles, what he has shifted and manifested. This gentleman was born in Russia, abandoned by his biological parents, put into an orphanage where there was abuse and horror. And then he got adopted by a loving family from Orange County and was transformed out of that horrible situation into a much better life. And then I see with this person just constantly being able to take something that's dark and transforming it into something that's good. Recently had a car accident as well and was fine. Like, he survived the car accident, and he is pursuing his passion and his career. He has transformed his body. I just really admire people that are able to do that. And that is the transformative power of the Tower. The Tower is that using your psychic gifts to transform. I find it fascinating that my friend here, who is so, I call him mini-me because we're so alike in our loves and things. He actually went through my whole psychic and tarot certification course, graduating like literally almost first in his class. And that's part of his journey, which I find fascinating. People that pull the Tower card usually might have a lot of difficulty in life, but they transform to be some of the most spiritually aware, powerful people on the planet. And I just really admire that. And you could allow the Tower to break down walls and to transform. In the Hindu tradition, I'm always visualize Kali just burning everything down and making room for the new. Or as a Harry Potter nerd, I think of the Phoenix, dying and being reborn from the ashes, and that is very much the mood of the Tower. And you can also use this power to transform your life. Now to one of my favorite cards in the deck, my beautiful goddess, the Star. The Star also represents Aquarius. The Star is self-confidence. It's wonderful self-esteem. It's that ability to be so beautiful, not only physically, but in your energy, that you're radiating so high that you attract everything you want. You attract love, you attract a new job, you attract money and opportunities. And the star in my card, if you notice, is this absolutely stunning, beautiful, ethereal goddess woman, and modeled after some of the beautiful high level beings in my life that happen to be blonde Pisces women that are, I have one of my closest friends is a yoga instructor and a beautiful light on the planet, and this kind of represents that. I love this card. It's just beauty and radiance, and anybody, regardless of who you are, can transform and feel like the star of your own life. And it's your choice. And it's interesting that people that have strong self esteem, people respond to that. And things just happen. That was something that, again, with this being Aquarius and being a card that represents me, coming from a childhood where I didn't always get that. I remember in kindergarten having a teacher that actually hit my hand because I was a left-hander and said I was stupid, and I got sent to the principal's office once. I'll never forget this because I had to do a needlepoint for Christmas, and I had a little snowman I was needlepointing on this purple canvas, and I decided, I hate the cold, so my little snowman is wearing a purple sweater. And the teacher asked me, why didn't you, needlepoint in the center ball of your snowman? And I said, well, he's wearing a sweater. Go to the office, you stupid kid. And this happened to me, And I remember this part of me saying there's something wrong with me. I'm stupid. I'm a left-hander. I remember when I was coming into my sexuality, there must be something wrong with me for liking guys. And this kind of overlay, it took me a little while in my life to own my beauty, to own who I am. And once I really got that, it's amazing how my life transformed, especially in the last, let's say, 5 years. And having that time during COVID to really go inward. And it's so interesting now. I go out around town and I walk into my favorite coffee house, and people are smiling like, hey Jimmy, it's so great to see you. Oh my gosh, you always just make me feel so happy. You have such a beautiful smile. Oh, here's free coffee on us today, or I, walk into a store and I just happen to be radiating my star. And, the people at the store, oh, hey, Jimmy, is there anything you need? I'll go in the back and get it for you. Or I knew you were coming in. I already have your groceries ready for you. Things like that. And that's how the world, evolves around you when you are in self-confidence and self-esteem. Just everything works out. And I have always understood this. I've always understood how to use my intellect or my charm or my physical beauty or whatever to kind of just bring to me what I need. And you're the star of your life. Of course, obviously being in the arts as an actor, you need to be the star. As a concert pianist and a recording artist, you need to be the star, And so this card, I always love to I even have this specific card, printed out on my wall where I see it and I'm reminded of my radiance and beauty, and that I can share that with others. So the star to me is a really beautiful card, and I love my lady goddess, and I think she's just beautiful. And hopefully you find that inner beauty within yourself, wherever you are on your journey, and use this to transform your life as well. Another card I absolutely adore is number 18, the moon. The moon, by the way, represents Cancer and also secondary Pisces. And I find it fascinating, even though I'm an Aquarius, I do have Cancer rising, and my moon is on the Leo Cancer cusp. So I have a lot of Cancer in myself. And I find it fascinating that my soulmate was Cancer. I find it fascinating that I have a beautiful, talented sister who is Cancer, and I have beautiful nephews that are radiant Cancer, and all my best friends are Cancer and Pisces. I find that fascinating. And so there's something about this moon energy that is luminous, and I'm drawn to that, both physically and emotionally. The moon is the romantic, and I've said this before, I'm a helpless romantic. The moon is the chooser. The moon is able to be peaceful during difficult situations. It's the quiet ability to relax when times are tough. It's seeing things for what they truly are. The moon is very wise. The moon can choose between paths. When the people pull the moon, it does sometimes deal with romantic relationships, and it can mean growing deeper, moving out of the honeymoon phase of love into a deeper ability. The moon is sort of the mother, and usually people that get the moon a lot are fantastic mothers. I look at my youngest sister, who is an incredible mother of three just gorgeous, talented boys, and what she's done with her, her kids is amazing. And I feel that the moon is this deep ability to communicate, and the ability to spot deception. And the moon can be a little bit what we call, disillusion. There's that part of the moon that's a little shady. And when someone pulls this card, it might also mean that maybe something in your life, you're being a little gullible. You're falling for something and not seeing the full picture, and the moon shines the light on that. So the moon is also about resolving difficult situations, difficult relationships. The moon can be a bit discriminating. It might be like, where do you have to shine your light in the middle of the night to see, who's manipulating you? Who is not serving your highest good? The moon is about also that sort of self-love care. Like when you think about the night is peaceful, the night is shimmery, and it's allowing that just quiet romanticism. The moon, in terms of people that are Cancer, tend to have this luminous to them. And I think I have mentioned many times that I am most attracted to blonde, blue-eyed people. And a lot of my Cancer, like my husband, my sister, and her children are all these luminous, fair-skinned blondes. With these beautiful soft blue eyes, and they look like the moon. They have this radiance that is very soft, and I'm very attracted to that. And like I said, moon also is in Pisces, and I find that all my closest women friends are these luminous beings. And one of my best friends is actually a African American fashion designer, and even though she's black and has beautiful skin, there's a luminous that reminds me of the moon with her. It's like when I met her, and I met my other best friend, who's a Pisces. It's like we met each other and we felt like old souls. It's like I just knew instantly this is going to be my sister for life. And I don't know if you ever had that, but there's something about that moon's radiance that when you get people around you that are resonating the moon, you're drawn to them. We talk a little bit too about the word lunatic, by the way. The other end of the spectrum here comes from the moon. And sometimes the moon can shine the light on your own personal madness and things that are not working. And so I've always been drawn to the energy of the moon. It's interesting, as a goth boy too, I was into werewolves, and there was also something sexually attractive about werewolves. I'm kind of attracted to beefy, hairy men, and there's like this wolf energy of animal magnetism and rawness that the moon can also possess. And how many times do we repress that? That darker side of the moon. I find it fascinating too that I had a best friend who was one of the most brilliant artists I ever met, who now is a very famous director in Hollywood, and he was my friend. I came out to him. He came out to me when we were in junior high school, and was my best friend. And he, besides being an incredible artist, he was just obsessed with Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks, which later influenced my own family. And I find it fascinating that all my sisters and brothers love Stevie Nicks. I love Stevie Nicks. And I thought about, the Stevie Nicks energy of the moon goddess, and she even has on her the album Tusk, Fleetwood Mac, sister of the moon. And I just thought about, the moon is kind of associated with witches and, divine feminine power and, all these kind of images of the moon. And as a goth, I've always loved that. I remember going to Wiccan lunar parties and cycles and different things on the solstices and stuff, and just honoring the moon. And I've always been connected to the energies of the moon and living on the ocean, the tides, and how that affects me. And I've always felt peaceful by the sea. And I've always lived my whole life, which a lot of moon children are attracted to water. I've always lived my whole life. I find this fascinating, literally less than 4 blocks from the ocean. And there is that connection to the sea that goes very much with the moon as well. Remember, too, that the moon representing Cancer is the crab. And the crab is able to kind of just like crawl into the sand and be and just sort of this peaceful kind of person. And I'm very attracted to that. So the moon, let that radiate and be the quiet radiance in your life to help you to see things clearly, to shine light on the parts of your nature that are difficult, and to live this quiet, beautiful reflection. The moon. Bella Luna. Now to another favorite major arcana card of mine, the sun. The sun is powerfully radiating and a leader, but a leader that's able to shine their light so bright that they're able to get people to follow their way of thinking. The sun is the originator, but he's the co-creator. He is the cooperator. He has the ability to lead others in teamwork, to work well with others. He's able to manifest. He is powerful, go-getter type energy. The sun is divine masculine, powerful. It's movement towards wholeness. It's also building a sense of power in community. So I love the sun. So with the sun, I made him purposely, sexually, exactly what I like. He is a strong, radiant, blonde man, because that's what I'm attracted to, in the light, in the power, radiating and leading like a warrior, and nobody gets in his way. But it's from a place of spiritual power, knowing that you have the radiance and being able to use that to move people. It's interesting that in the gay community, the sun card is associated with pride, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual pride. It is about, again, community and power, but being a leader. Also, this could mean several things. This could also mean deep radiance to where you attract to you people that are loyal to you. So this can mean, deep friendship. This can mean radiating to have this card. Like a lot of times when someone is like, I'm looking for my partner, I'm looking for my soulmate, they pull the sun. It means this is a great card. You are radiating the sun, that your person can find you. You're the light, and people are drawn to the light. So that's a great thing of the sun. And sun does have a sexual magnetism too. That's why I picked exactly sexually what I'm attracted to. Like it's like, oh my God, this person's radiating. I'm drawn to them. Okay, the sun is again the power. I find it fascinating that as a child I knew I was a little different, and I remember my dad wanting to get me into Indian guides, which is sort of like Boy Scouts as a child, and I could care less about camping, and I wasn't into it. I was into the history, so there was things I did like about Indian guides. There was a few trips that we did that were fabulous, but we were christened with our Indian name, and I find it fascinating that my Indian name was Morning Sun, and that's part of my archetype, and I am definitely a sun person. I do not like dark, cloudy weather all the time. There's a part of me that likes to be out by the beach, likes to be out by the sun. I'm up at 5:30 every morning, and this is part of my archetype is rising with the sun. And I think that's a good way to live your life. The sun kind of is, if you discipline your life with the planets, like if you get up when the sun comes up and you're not laying in bed till 12 o'clock and then sluggish because you're having breakfast at noon, you get more done. And that's how I've always chosen to live my life. So sun people tend to be incredibly disciplined. If you look at my guy on this car, he's got the perfect body, he is in radiant health, and he's up at the crack of dawn, he's ready to work and to go after things. And the sun can teach you that discipline. Again, it's just amazing how when I get up early, how much more I get done. Like I said, I get up at usually 5:36. I usually have a cup of tea. I check my email. I do an hour of exercise, and it's still only like 7 o'clock in the morning. And then, I can clean my house, and it's still only 8 in the morning. I get so much more done. I have friends that tend to be more the night owls, and they're always running behind. They're never on time. They get up at like, oh, I've slept to 11. Okay, I'm going to skip breakfast, and they're on these crazy schedules, and they don't have discipline in their life. And that's something the sun can teach you, is being a leader, being strong, and using that to inspire others to be powerful as well. I love the sun, and I'm a sun person. And this can also just mean, if you pull this card, needing more sun energy. It could be like, are you stuck inside all day and not getting enough vitamin D? It could mean that. It could mean like you need the sun, you need to radiate more, and you need to be doing more. Sometimes when people pull the sun card, is they're becoming a couch potato. It says like, get outside and get working, work in the garden, get some exercise, get your body in shape. Get disciplined. And those are things that the sun represents. Sun is that radiant energy. Fabulous. Okay, now we move on to number 20, the Aeon. And some people might not know that word, and so therefore, this is a card that often people don't understand in the deck. So, what the Aeon means is someone who is a visionary seer, but an evaluator, an analyst. They're seeing things at a higher level than what most people see around them. Again, they're the wizards among the muggles. They're able to use good judgment in a situation. They're evaluating, they're sizing things up, they're breaking through other people's judgments placed upon them. One thing they're able to do quickly is, which people in my life are high level beings that I should have in my life, and which people are victims or people that drain my energies or users. And they're able to just get rid of the toxic crap in their lives. The Aeon is able to resolve family issues. And sometimes for that, it could mean like just, going with the flow with the family. It could also mean leaving family, staying out of family, traumas and karma. Sometimes it means just kind of, balancing career and family, or balancing family and, hobbies. It's about this balance, like, evaluating, okay, am I putting too much time into my family and neglecting my hobbies? Am I spending so much time in my hobbies, I'm not cultivating deeper relationships in my family? And it's staying true to oneself. It's releasing aspects that have been placed on you by your father and mother. Meaning that sometimes, our father and mother, they love us and they want what's best for us, but they want what they did. Maybe you have someone saying you, like, I see this all the time. Like, I had a family where one of my students was a doctor. I mean, one of my students' fathers was a doctor, and his mother was a doctor. And they said, my son will become a doctor. And he's like, I could care less about science. It's not what I want to do. And I said to him, well, you have these other talents. What do you want to do? And he goes, I want to do something in the arts. And his parents say, that's not practical. You will become a doctor. So guess what? He went to medical school, and he's a good doctor, but he hates his job, and he's not happy. And because of that, he manifested health issues. And I find it fascinating that at 32 years old, he had a heart attack. Why? Because his heart is not in it. It's its higher self saying, get the fuck out of this and do what you want to do. But he allowed people to push him around, basically. And that is what the Aeon gives you, that power. Like, I'm going to stand up for what I want. Another thing is, like, maybe you have a handicap in some area. Maybe, there's just something you're slow at. Like, I have acting students that are talented, but maybe they're not good at memory. Or maybe there's an area where they're a little bit slower. And this is about, can I evaluate what's happening with me and take the actions to remedy that? So the Aeon is able to say, okay, what areas of my life am I avoiding, and can I get into action? So the Aeon is the opposite of the procrastinator. It's going to find the problems and break through them quickly with love and sensitivity. They're releasing what's holding them back. They're also releasing ancestral karma. So what does ancestral karma mean? It might mean that there's a pattern in your family. Some families have a pattern of domination and anger. And are you going to act the same way, or are you not going to be that person? Some people have different beliefs, but like I see this all the time with religion, where a family was brought their kids up Mormon or something, and then the kids like expected to be Mormon and do certain things, and they go, I don't feel like this, I want to change. And can they stand up to their family and be different? I find it fascinating in my own family, where my mother came from a Roman Catholic Spanish background and my dad came from Southern Baptist. And I find it absolutely ridiculous that when they wanted to get married, her Spanish family was like, you have to go to the bishop and get permission to get married in a, God forbid, Presbyterian church, because it goes against, our Catholic beliefs. And, my poor mom and dad had to deal with, trying to balance both families and what they wanted and find their own happiness. And they were able to do that. But it was like, that's the Aeon. Can we make everybody happy? But we're not going to, go over what we don't want. We're going to stick to what we want. They got married in a beautiful church, had a beautiful wedding, but there was a lot of kind of drama before that. And that's where, it's, can you stick up for what you want? That's the Aeon, okay? So releasing, analyzing, evaluating situations, and dealing with them quickly. We've made it. Now the final and most joyous card of the major arcana, the universe. Number 21. The universe card is a great card. It represents a lot of great positive outlooks. The universe can represent the initiator. It can mean new beginnings, liberation from something that's been holding you back. Great new things are happening. It can mean so many different things depending on what cards are around it. It can mean moving to a new location, a new job, a wedding, a major award. Major change is coming, and it's a liberation is a good word for this. And it's about like you are the master. It's also about you're turning negative events into positive outcomes, positive transformation. It's one of the best cards in the deck. It's the luck card. It's like everything's going to turn around, but it's also turning around because you're allowing the universe, and you're allowing by knowing your truth. It's a high spiritual card. It's like I am God also, and therefore I'm liberated. Do you believe that, the world is your oyster and anything you want you can get? Or do you believe, oh gosh, life is hard, life is a struggle, things are scary, the world is terrible, and you're focusing on that? So the universe, and I love this card, and again, I chose a card of a powerful, incredibly handsome man holding the earth in his hand like a bowling ball, like, hey, I got it all. But on top of that, there are other planets on the, and he's just like, I own them all. I am master of the whole universe. And that's the feeling of this card, is the world is your oyster. So let's say someone pulls this card and they're asking like, hey, I'm scared, I just lost my job. And they pull the universe card. So that was the best thing that could have happened. It cleared that out, because now the perfect job for you is going to manifest, because the world's your oyster. And you turn something that was a negative into a positive. Another example, oh my God, I just broke up with my girlfriend and I'm heartbroken. Will I ever find love again? And the universe card comes up. It's like, absolutely, she was not your soulmate. And now you've just opened yourself up to attract to you very quickly your soulmate and the person you're going to be with for the rest of your life. That is a better match. Another example, oh my gosh, I'm struggling in school and I just got a bad grade and, I hate this teacher, and you get, maybe, you get expelled from school, and it's like, and that seems like a horrible thing. And then you look and you get the universe card. It's like, well, that wasn't the right school for you, and that wasn't the right career for you. And now you're going to be on the path to really doing what's right for you. The universe usually comes when you have already done the groundwork, where you've worked on yourself and now you've opened yourself up for everything working out. The universe card is that insurance that everything is fine, and that's why it's one of the best cards to get in the deck. You could be dealing with crap, like you'd be like, you got cancer and I'm dying and I've been told I need chemo and have only 6 months to live, and you get the universe and it's like, you're going to get a miraculous healing, everything's going to work out. So the universe is a really powerful and joyous card. And that magic number 21 is very powerful as well with this. And I don't want to get into all the numerology because that would take a little bit too much time, but it's a powerful number vibration too. Interesting in the deck, the 21, or people that are born on the 21st, are the universe. They're the crown. And usually, no matter what their beginnings are, they turn their life around and have the best luck imaginable. So anybody that happens to be born on the 21st of the month, you got a lot of luck behind you. I find it fascinating. My dad was born April 21st, and he came from meager beginnings and made himself into a millionaire, married the woman of his dreams, survived a heart attack to go on to live to be 90. Just luck on his side, basically. And when things seemed the worst, he was able to always transform things to work out, always. And so it's sort of like a luck card that, hey, everything's great, and so forth. So enjoy the universe. The world is your oyster.